Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks Ruth Allbrand. I am Marketing Max, and for the last month, I believe Mr. Kane Top from Agent Formula has been taking my place, but I'm glad to be back. We have a returning guest today. Her name is Sheila Merrill, and she is the lending lady of Las Vegas. I'm gonna tap that in right now, Sheila, for now until you go national, until you break out here. But before we get to Sheila and the rest of the show today, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas?
Oh, lots of things. I'll tell you. I am very excited. Let's say good morning here to Linda Eden. Good to see you, Linda. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Linda.
Good to see you. Okay, so Sheila, we're going to say goodbye to you for a few minutes. We're going to put our stats up here.
We lost her, Max. It's just you and me.
Yeah,
now.
we lost her. I gotta say, Kate, I like the hair, buddy. I like the part in the hair.
Oh, thank you. You know, I figured, since we're kind of an information show, I needed to have the hard part going.
Yes.
The news anchor look.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a great, great morning, Miss Cookie is saying, and that's her slogan. Great morning. And Karen, morning to you too. Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you, Karen.
All right, so let's get to the stats here. So we have hit a record. If we have sold 3,841 homes, and that tops March, where we sold 3,532 homes.
Wow.
So we are rocking and rolling. And yesterday we listed 224 homes. So now we have 1.7 months of inventory, which is pretty exciting because, Max, we've been dipping down the single family homes while you were gone. We're dipping down under 5,000. So we had 246 closings yesterday, and we put 108 under contract. So, I mean, that's fantastic. This market is really rocking and rolling. So I am so happy, and I can't wait till Monday, because when the agents start putting in the closing dates and the things for the listings that went under contract for July, I'm thinking that we're going to get into the green territory for July over last July. So that's, yeah, I mean, the agents are selling houses, they're flying off the shelf. The prices remain strong. So it's an exciting market. And from what I'm seeing, we're still putting all these homes under contract. August is going to be a good month too.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Any concerns with this moratorium with you having the property management company coming up here in September at all for the real estate side of things?
Which one are you referring to? Because there's
the rent, I guess the delay in rent or evictions and foreclosures.
No, that hasn't really hurt us. We manage a couple hundred, almost over 300 properties, almost 400. And there's maybe a handful that haven't been paying rent. And those that have, the property managers need to give them a promissory note. And with that promissory note, and as long as they make the payments that they agree to on the promissory note, we won't have to evict them. We don't want to evict them.
No, absolutely not.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So I think our worst case is we have one tenant that owes us a couple $100 out of $1,200. And I mean, that's the worst case for us out of 130 homes.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, it's not been, it wasn't like, we didn't know how it was going to be. I mean, Kane, you're around that office. I mean.
Oh, yeah. And, the property management girls, they are crazy busy. Yeah. And I never hear rumblings of this guy hasn't paid us or that guy hasn't paid us. I always hear everyone's working with us, people that need a little help have been getting help. Everyone's been real accommodating. And I really don't think the average renter wants to get behind. I know I don't, because it's not like it's a free pass or anything. Right. You got to pay eventually. I rather pay what I can when I can, as opposed to having to pay a couple $1,000s at the end of September or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, that's good news then, because
Yeah.
and if you recall back in 07, 08 during the crisis, I mean, how many people were running behind, or how many owners were kind of letting go of their properties? Do you recall that period of time at all?
Oh, I do. Yeah. That was terrible.
All right. But you're not seeing that now, right? I mean, there's
Mm.
no hint of it at all currently.
No, no. Yesterday, my show was about. I had all the charts for the United States. How many people had deferred their mortgage payments? How many people hadn't paid? It was a small percentage, and the chart that I showed actually showed the states. What states were had a larger percentage of people that didn't pay, the larger percentage of the deferreds. And but for the most part, I mean, we're under 18. The worst percentage was one state was 18% that had deferred, if I remember correctly. And I posted all those things in the group for people to use because they're really good statistics.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so yeah, we're in good shape.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah. So Max, just to segue a little bit to, we missed you. What have you been up to?
Absolutely. I was actually in Lake Tahoe, Reno for a week, and then Lake Tahoe, and enjoying just the outdoors, right? Being away from the city and stuff like that. I highly recommend. I almost want to keep it a secret now. I even got a Lake Tahoe mug now, because there's a saying called Lake Tahoe Blue. Right. And the reason why it is the lake water there is the bluest water you'll ever see. And they even put restrictions on when construction can be done as far as excavation, because they don't want to shift the dirt during the months of October to April, because of the runnage off of the rainwater and the snow going into the lake. And so they really take it seriously up there, and you can tell it's beautiful up there. And if you haven't been, Kane, I recommend it. There's a lot of things to do that doesn't cost any money at all, and the sights and the scenes that you take in, you pay thousands and thousands of dollars if someone were to take a really good picture of it, but you get to see it live. So been out there refreshing and recharging for the last half of the year here.
It's going to be the best half.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, the trajectory of everything is going up at this point. So.
Yeah, we've done a lot of things in our class. We have a core class every week for the CE. We've had over 50 participants every week.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, things are cooking. It's
right.
Good.
Well, people know this is the time to, there's a shift in consumer behavior. That's a massive one right now, both in every industry that you can even think of. Right. And another time to retool here. And if you, like we said, Ruth, you and I, Kane, all three of us, if you're not on video, if you don't know how to interact with people remotely right now, you are going to go out of business, period. And companies are starting to realize more and more so now, and they're taking a serious look at how to deploy these technologies that we've been using for years now.
Going on 3 years, right?
Exactly. And platforms, the remote platforms, they've been stepping up their game. Like at the beginning of this, Zoom had a lot of controversy over its security issues. And as soon as that came to light, they scrambled between the month of April and June. So that 2-month period, I think Zoom updated almost every day.
Wow.
And when I turned it on for our classes, and it was just security updates. Mm-hmm. So it couldn't get hacked, and people's devices couldn't get hijacked. So not only are people having to learn to be remote, the remote services had to step up their game because everyone's using them now.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Great to see you too, Aaron. It's good to be back, kind of in the run of things here. Yeah. So no, I mean it was great. Highly recommend everybody. It always reminds me. I like to run really hard, right? When I have a goal in mind and I have a certain achievement that I want to make, I like to run really hard, and sometimes I forget to take some time off. And it was a much needed getaway, especially now I'm back with 110, 11 degree weather. I'm dreaming of Lake Tahoe again. Yeah, thank you. It's all good though. It's all good.
Okay. Well, Here she comes, our guest.
All right. Let's bring on the lending lady, Sheila Merrill.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Everybody doing good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
So I didn't get the topic this morning because we kind of started a little bit late here, Sheila. But Ruth, you want to introduce what she's going to come on to talk about today?
Oh, I would love to. Sheila, the lending lady, is going to talk about how you convert renters to buyers. And we all know that we should do it. But I think that what stops this is because it becomes a financial discussion, we don't know what to say. And so Sheila's put together a great PowerPoint. I'm going to me and Kay may kind of sink into the lobby while she goes through the PowerPoint. Sheila, will we be able to share that PowerPoint to our group or not?
I prefer not, because this is part of my ongoing teaching.
Okay.
So yeah, if agents would like more information, we are going to go in depth on this PowerPoint. There's a few slides that we're not going to be going over today, but they're important for the agents to know, and they'll get that at this Tuesday's class from 9:30 to 10:30.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't share something that you didn't want shared. There are some pretty good slides in there. Maybe you'll share one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will. Absolutely. I'd like people to attend the class because you get the real deal. The real deal there. And yeah, we can go over. I like the interaction. We can go over. So.
Okay. So Kane, I'm going to hide you.
Hi, Kane.
Kane's going to hide. You're still there. Kane, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to solo myself. Do I do that first or do I put the PowerPoint on first? Okay. And then I'm going to solo myself. Oh, dear. Okay. Solo the PowerPoint. You can't. There you go. Okay. All right. So can everybody hear? So Sheila, you need to talk. I think you're the only one that can talk.
Oh, okay. Right? So I'm not in view. Okay, got it. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, here we go. This is a portion of what we go through on our Tuesday class. I feel it's so important converting renters to buyers now. So we're doing this once a month on the first or second Tuesday. Be sure to go on to agentformula.com and check out the calendar so you can sign up. But this is turning renters into first-time home buyers. So next slide.
Hang on. Yes.
Okay. So sometimes you think, can people still see me or just the slide?
Just the slide, Sheila.
Okay, good. So I can drink my coffee, pick my nose or whatever. Nobody's going to see it, right? No. Just kidding.
It's gonna be recorded on the cloud somewhere, so I wouldn't trust that anyways, but go ahead.
So, okay, so you always wonder, well, how do I start? Okay, right? I mean, people, what do I do? What's the first step I do? So time is money. You got to just remember, time is money. And whenever a person, a buyer, a renter waits to act, they're wasted money. So time is money, and then there's a cost of waiting too. So we're going to get into that as well. So you always want to educate. The second item is you want to educate your client. You want to educate your prospect. You want to show them, and that's what we're going to get into also. You want to retain clients for life. Some of the large agents in town. Ruth and John. The real estate guy. Aaron Mills. There's other people that are large too that have a well-known name that they know how to retain people. They send out their cards. They do the Buffiniites, etc. That you can also get training at Agent Formula as well. Next thing is rent versus own. We want to show. I love educating and helping people and letting them show, okay, if you rent, this is what it's going to cost versus owning. And they're always surprised. Wow, I didn't realize it was that easy to get into a home. And next is down payment assistance. Home is possible down payment assistance. That's available as well if the client needs it or wants it, or if it benefits them. And if it doesn't, say they don't fit into the guidelines from Nevada e-Housing Home is Possible, we have Nova Credit Services, an in-house credit services department that helps our clients prepare to purchase to fit into those guidelines. Say their debt to income ratio is over 45%. Well, we need to provide guidance. Say they don't have a 640 middle credit score. We will provide guidance and prepare them. And then the buyers are sent right back to you. Next slide. Okay, the next item is time is money, the cost of waiting. So you got to remember, this market is like none we have seen before. Rates are historically low. Housing values are increasing. They're not decreasing. And it's our job to get the word out and educate our prospects and clients. Here's an example of waiting. So the cost of waiting. Now, with all the news we're hearing now, rates are supposed to stay historically low, but just say if they're not. That's what this example is. So today's rate, 3%. This is one example of a conventional loan. The sales price at $332,750. The loan amount would be $266,200, and the principal and interest would be $1,122 a month. Versus if the borrower waited until 2021 and say there was a fluctuation in rates, the rate went to 3.5. Well, the sales price also goes up too. This is assuming market appreciation. So that's taken into consideration in the sales price. And the new loan amount would be $292, and the payment would be $1,314 per month. So that's a couple $100 more a month that they would be paying, and they would have lost equity that they could have gained from buying now, about $30,000 plus in equity. And they would have saved about $192 a month. So that gives you the example here. So that's huge.
That is huge.
Yeah, say rates stay the same. Well, housing prices aren't staying the same. They're going up. So even if you do the same comparison with the same rate, the housing price, you're still going to pay more. So either way. So next slide. Okay, the real cost of waiting continued. So the cost of waiting to buy in a year, despite the rate volatility we've seen over the last 7 years, the demand for housing is still very, very strong. And houses are still appreciating at a high rate, at a fast pace. So these factors combined, increasing rates and appreciation, make the cost of waiting as high as ever. I love that little caricature on the side. The Fed sent you $1,000 and you blew it on toilet paper. Remember that little stimulus check everybody got? Everybody spent it in their own way. So I have some clients that were smart. They paid down bills that are in the credit services, and they're getting closer to purchase. So that's part of our educating them as well. So whenever I meet people, I go over that as well, and I let them know, okay, remember that stimulus check? What do you have? Most everybody has an increase in their bank account right now because of the stimulus check, or just because they're not out spending. They're not out eating out. They might be at the drive-through, but they're not doing the normal purchasing that they were before.
And Sheila, the National Association of Realtors says that people have increased their saving by 32% during this pandemic. So they are just waiting to spend that money.
Right. It's hot. So, yep. So let's go to the next slide. So the next slide, should I buy now or should I wait until next year? I like this example. I thought this was pretty cool. It gives you an example at age 30 on the left side. So this is a hypothetical rate, 4.3%, sales price $250, and the monthly principal and interest would be $1,231. Next year, 31 years old, a year past, $262,000 is the purchase price, and then the payment would be $1,321. So see, even if it doesn't go up a lot, like the example I gave you before at the 3% and 3.5%, it still is a big difference in your monthly payment. What I mean by not going up a lot, the interest rate. So this is an older example, but I loved it. I thought it was good from CoreLogic, Freddie Mac, and Bankrate came out with this. So And you've got to remember, millennials born between 81 and 97, they see their friends and family driving into the real estate market and wondering if now's the time for them to do so too. So they're a huge target market for us as well. So,
and more millennials are buying now than ever.
Right, they are.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Why rent? It's another savings account. It's another way. You know, Bitcoin is been around for a little while, but it's getting a lot of headway now. But you know, think of it. Your house is another way of saving with the equity. So okay. So what will it cost if you wait to buy your dream home? So if you look at the difference, what if you gave up? If you didn't do the monthly $89.44, it kind of gives you an example, and I love this example. It's a visual, your daily coffee. You know how expensive if you go to Starbucks or any of the little boutique coffee shops, and then Friday night sushi. And it's like, yep, that's usually me. I don't go to coffee anymore, but I drink it at home. But my sushi, I love my sushi. And then annually, a weekend away, paying off some credit cards. And then over 30 years, what you would have, either you can look at it two ways, what you would have saved on the home or what extra you would have spent on the home. So it helps set you up for your future.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. So the next slide, some highlights. The cost of waiting to buy, it's really defined as the additional funds necessary to buy a home if prices and interest rates to increase over a period of time. So that's the cost of waiting. And these are the notes for the previous slide. So Freddie Mac forecast, you can check that out too, and CoreLogic. So that's
amazing, boy. I mean, and now what's the comparison rate if you get a loan today?
If you get a loan today, the comparison rate that I showed previously was 3% this year versus 3.5% next year.
And they're looking to raise them by 1.5%. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. And then the cost of housing is continually to increase also.
Yeah, that's the next slide here.
Yeah. So, okay, the next slide is U.S. home price insights. I thought this was really good. The cities that continue to experience price increases. Now, Washington, D.C., it leads it. Well, there's no land there in Washington, D.C., so that's probably why. And they're really not building. I think it's mostly resale there. But look at Las Vegas. Look at 4.8%. And we are up there. We're up there with the West Coast. So San Diego and LA, we're above LA. So we are our city's in demand. People are fleeing the cities that have issues right now, and they're coming to the cities that are growth and business, pro-business and pro-growth. So that accounts for a lot of our growth as well.
And we've been having people from Illinois move here. They're in the top 5 states that move here. They relocate to Las Vegas, and I think you're going to see that number increase.
That's true. I have a client from Illinois. Yeah, can't wait to get out. Exactly. They've been pre-qualified for 3 months, and they're afraid to fly. And we're trying to settle them down. The agent that has them, we're trying to work with them and let them know you're okay. You can fly. They are ready. Yeah, people are ready to make their move. So, okay, next slide. Okay, so one of the largest things in anything we do in life, real estate, whatever industry you're in, we need to educate. We need to share our knowledge. So we educate our prospects. When you're working with the first-time home buyer, one of the most important things is you can share. And I know a few of you have the flyer that I have, a comparison flyer that you can post socially. It is compliant, and it gives a comparison of renting versus buying and the costs that it takes to come up with, etc. It's also in this, I think it's in this, yeah, it is. I have it, I spelled it out also. I broke it down in one of the PDFs that we're going to come up to. But I also have a flyer that you can share to your renters, to somebody you're taking out, have it in the car with you. If they want to go look at a house, just have it on the seat where they can see it. And, you know, hey, did you know the difference of purchasing, how much you could save in equity, how much you can build your little nest egg? And some people just don't think it's possible for them, but it could be very real. So you could become your renter's agent in your real estate farm too. So say I have one agent that's farming Mountain's Edge. You know, you pick an area and you just go for it, and you just repetitively have your open houses when we can have those again. Send your farms out. You can do your emails. You can do your mailers. There's all kinds of things like that, and I can help you out with. So you want to put relevant. It's important that the content is relevant, that they can learn something from. And you can send the prospect your digital information and your content. So.
And Sheila, I think that's the main message here today is the agents have to understand and learn how to explain these things before they get you, you know, in front of them, because that's going to be how they're going to convert them, which is what this is all about.
Right.
You
exactly.
have to know how to explain these things, and it needs to roll off your tongue. It just has to be that way, so that people, you know, who know, like, and trust you get educated in this process. Then this is a great slide presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to go to your class. I'm just going to throw that in.
And for those of you that are joining us late or would like more information, Tuesday from 9:30 to 10:30, show up this Tuesday, the 4th, 9:30 to 10:30. Deborah, my email is going to be at the end of the presentation, but I'll give it to you real quick. It's Sheila.Merrill, like Merrill Lynch, at novahomeloans.com. That's my email. You can email me. Okay, next flyer.
Did I do it right?
You did it.
Okay.
So, okay. Back to education, and I drive home education. You've got to educate. So you got to remember, when you're working with first-time home buyers, one of the most powerful things you can do is educate them, and your renters are no exception. When you have somebody in that car, that is your chance. You know how you have one time when you meet somebody for the first time, and most of your renters you're not going to know. You have one opportunity to impress. And education, giving them something relevant, giving them something of value is key. They will look to you. They will call you. They will stay with you. They won't be looking all over the place. That's the best way I've found to keep clients. Educate them and care for them. Show them you care. So you want to provide your renter leads with an overview of the buying process. Email your prospects the home buying process co-branded flyer. It itemized. I have two versions. I have an itemized version, and then I have a game version. So you want to you're going to catch on to see how your client's personality is. So I can send you both co-branded, and that's the one you're going to provide them.
Which is great.
Yeah, you want to talk to them about special down payment assistance programs, and you want to demystify the home buying process. Most people that haven't purchased are afraid. Well, most of us are afraid of the unknown. So that's our job, to educate, break down, provide relevant information, demystify it, and show how affordable and attainable it is. So, next slide. Okay, converting renters to buyers. Again, you want to become the go-to person, go-to agent in your renter farm. So when you help a few renters realize their dreams of owning a home, you will start to develop a reputation as a specialist in that area, and then they begin to trust you. Before you get to that point, remember, you need to come up with your own branding. You know, Ruth has Ruthie Rocks, Be Social Savvy, Agent Formula. You want to come up with your own branding for you, so that when people see it, the more a jingle or something, the more they see it, the more they hear it, the more they think of you. And then before you know it, you are the one that is top of mind when they think of real estate or a home. So You want to consistently target the renters in your community with direct mail options, postcards, social media, and you want to give them an item of value, either something like the comparison. You want to avoid the sales pitch. I mean, something as silly as recipes or spring cleaning or whatever. I know one big agent, wherever he went, he would go on vacation. He would send his A people some sand. If he went to Hawaii, 1 year from some sand, another year like some puka shells. It's like silly, but these are you're going to learn. Your A people are the ones that are going to refer you the most. And if you have been to BUFFINS classes, you're going to identify them as A, B, and C. And again, go to agentformula.com, look at the training schedule. Ruthie, I'm sure you're going to have another Buffini 100 Days to Mastery or whatever.
Right? Yeah, the Pathways to Mastery starts September 11th.
Okay, that's excellent. It works. I've seen it in action. So
Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy, does it every day. And he's really the top agent in Las Vegas right now. When you take off the iBuyer platforms and the Open Doors and the Zillows. So he's on top of it. And that's how he does it. I think he sold 120 homes so far this year, 126. Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? You stay in touch with people.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And that's exactly who I was talking about the vacation.
Right.
So you just send something, you just let them know you care. So FaceTime's even better. And we can co-host an educational workshop on a relevant topic to show expertise. Home is possible. We could do that. If you want to bring renters in, we could do credit services. We can combine it. I have our credit service department is actually a department. It is not a loan officer trying to fix credit. We actually have experts from Factual Data, CoreLogic that used to work there that are with our company. So we actually have over 100 years experience between that team that can help your borrowers. And we have proprietary systems that input their information and it comes back with a real plan that if they stick to, they will own a home. And then it comes back to you and me, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, with me to partner with them and to stay on top of them and encourage them. This is totally possible and doable. And it gets exciting. The closer they get and as they achieve little goals, the closer they are to purchasing. So next slide. Okay, provide relevant content and resources. So you want to take a look at any successful agent you know. So again, we were just talking about that. Go to their Facebook page. If you're getting a lot of likes, comments, and shares, these agents are doing more than just posting their listings. They're sharing real life experience. They're offering educational or entertaining content, and it keeps their followers engaged. And you want to look closely. Now, it's not as hard as you think. You think you have to come up with all this stuff yourself? You don't. There's a lot of things already posted, a lot of data and statistics that are out there already. Most of them are sharing content and articles, videos, or infographics from around the web. There are some personalized information, but most of them are just resharing.
Yeah, and I told everybody yesterday when I shared the mortgage stats, I said, and what Dr. Young said about unleashing the economy in the coming months, I said, you can do a video and just read this. And even you can show your face and just say, I'm reading this letter from Dr. Young and get that out there to everybody. And it's such useful information. You're not selling, you're giving information, which is what engages people.
Right, exactly. That's it. It's something that's relevant to them. So, okay, next slide. Okay, now your followers don't care, again, that you created the post yourself. They're more concerned whether it speaks to them.
Right.
So you want to provide the content that's useful for the people that you want to work with. So here's an example. So market reports, real estate tips, calendar of events that appeal to first-time home buyers, credit services or GPA programs, quick and easy recipes. I mean, there's probably thousands of items. It's whatever you want to get out there and share that, and your personality comes out in this too. And this is what draws people to you as well. So the little cycle, the buying cycle, I like this. I thought this was cool. So the awareness, the first one at the top is the awareness of a need, the assessment of alternatives. That's where we come in. We educate, provide assessment of rent versus own, the alleviation of risk, then you make a decision, and then the achievement of results. So this is kind of like this is the cycle that it goes through a person's mind, and we are in the center. We are in the center, partnering and helping people make decisions for them. Now, I want to put this in here real quick. Of course, if you have a military family member, that a military person that they're going to be relocated in 6 months. Well, no, that's not, they need a short-term rental. You would not put somebody like that in a home, or somebody who's getting transferred to another state within the year. That doesn't make sense. So you find out about your client, you get to know them.
Right. And again, that comes back to, if you're doing these videos and getting engagement from people, you need to target the right people.
Right.
The renters.
Exactly.
It's so easy on Facebook, for instance, to target first-time home buyers and renters. That's one of the things that you can do with the demographics.
And I think these higher end apartments that are coming up around, they're all over now. So they're in the Southwest, they're in Henderson, they're all over. Target those with your title company and email them. And then you post, and you can find out information. And I wouldn't rule out contacting, find somebody at the management company who you can partner with. And Ruth, you can talk about this too. When they know somebody's going to vacate, why not get a partner who can refer you business,
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I don't see agents doing. And again, we've never had these low interest rates ever. This is historic. No. This is historic, and it's not going to last forever. And so you can, you talked about posting information or posting a little live video, and then you can boost that live video. And with your targeting, you can target to a specific circle on the map where, there's a lot of apartments. And so, yeah, so that post and that information is going to go to the right people.
Right. Exactly. Next slide. So you want to remember, at the end of the day, renters are like most any other demographic. They want to know who they're working with has their best interest at heart. That's really important. Just like with any buyer, you are looking out for them. You're not going to show them 2 bedrooms if they tell you, if they have a family of 4 or 5 and they need a 3 or 4 bedroom or at more than 1 bath. You're going to listen to them. You're not going to try to push them into something you think. You're going to share, let them make their own decisions. So when you show commitment to your clients, you're far more likely to close more deals today while earning plenty of repeat business and referrals down the line. People like to work with people they like, people that take care of them. So, and it can take some time before you're seen as the go-to agent among local renters, but when you remain committed to delivering amazing service, success won't be far behind. So it's just.
Yeah, and Kane recently had an experience as a first-time home buyer. He went from a renter to becoming a buyer, and he had some horrific experiences. And if he hadn't had a good real estate agent, it was stressful, wasn't it, Kane? And who was your real estate agent?
For some reason, we can't hear Kane.
You have your, okay. Well, Kane had I don't know why. Oh, okay. Okay, so can I talk about it a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so Kane had a terrible experience. Luckily or unluckily, I mean, however you want to look at it, his wife was the agent, but that caused stress, double stress on both of them. It really did. And they found a place that had water issues and water damage, and I don't know how you got through it, but I'm just saying to other to agents watching, you need to really prepare the first time home buyers that it may take a couple deals, a couple transactions, a couple escrows that might fall through or whatever before they find the right home. You got to manage your expectations, is what I'm trying to say succinctly.
Yes.
But I'm pretty much into Kane's situation. So anyway, they put it on hold for a while. They'll be back at it. And Sheila, who's their lender?
The lending lady.
Okay.
No, that's a big part of the process here, Ruth. Agents, loan officers, I mean, this is a business that has so many moving parts, and part of your job in managing expectations is to let your buyer and borrower know that there's going to be some hiccups, but you're there for them and that you're prepared. And at the end of the day, that's all the consumer, the end buyer and borrower wants to know, is that it's going to be taken care of, and that's going to alleviate the stress, and that's going to be your job as an agent and as a lender, for sure.
Yeah. Right. Well, that is so true. Okay, next slide. I love this slide. Let's look over to the right first. So grow your net worth. Homeowner net worth $195,400 versus a renter $5,400. Your home is most people's largest asset. So it's that important to educate our clients and try to help them into a home.
Sheila, I have a slide I will share with you for this PowerPoint and for your class.
I love it.
Yeah, that actually shows over a 10-year period, your net worth increases $300,000 with the median price home today, and with the normal appreciation and with the low interest rates, how much more goes into your principal reduction. People don't realize that the lower the interest rate, the more money goes to that principal reduction, which builds your equity, which builds your net worth.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Here's a staggering statistic. It says that this is from HSH.com. The average wealth of a homeowner is $231,000, compared to the average wealth of a renter is $5,200.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a big difference.
Huge.
That is. Okay, now some of the questions that I was saying that we were kind of talking about in previous slides, ask and you shall receive. Remember, you don't ask, you're not going to get anything. So ask your prospect qualifying questions. When you interact with the prospect, be sure to ask qualifying questions. So like I was saying, how long are they going to be in the area? Are you military? How long will you be at your current command or post? And will you be able to come up with a down payment, 3.5% or 5% for conventional? What do you think your credit score is? If it's not good, if they say not good, ask them why. They know. Everybody knows. It's either medical collections, creditors, or if they've owned a home before, they've had a bankruptcy, a major derogatory. And then do you plan to purchase when your next lease is up? And if they say yes, well, there's your lead in. Why not purchase now? And then go into how much they save. Then you go into sharing how you grow your net worth. It's just staggering. And also share why waiting will cost more money in a year. Oh. Now, some people just won't listen and they'll want to continue to rent. So you got to remember, that's okay. Some people just continue going into water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. Same thing with people. You need to stay on top of mind, put them in your CRM, and follow up on drips with relevant information. And then if they don't buy from you, they're going to buy from somebody else.
They will. Yeah. And Sheila, the biggest problem, I think, is that agents don't ask deep questions. to first-time home buyers. You know, the first time you were going to ride a bike, you were scared. The first time you were going to dive off the diving board, you were scared. These people are scared, and they don't always want to share with you why they're scared. They feel stupid. They really do. And so somehow you have to create the know, like, and trust so that they feel free and open to answer the questions and then even tell you more. You want to know more about why they are not taking this leap to buy a home.
Right, right. There's always some reason, and sometimes it's just overcoming their fear or letting them know that their fear it's not real. Sometimes you fear itself, and that stymies you from making a decision and moving forward, and you can show them there's nothing to fear on this. So
yeah.
Okay, next slide. Okay, now here's the example, renting versus owning. I put together estimated cost to rent. Now, I got with the realtor and I kind of asked some questions. Now, there may be some additional costs in here that aren't included, but
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty realistic. Mm-hmm. So say the rent.
This is so good, Sheila. I can't tell you. I mean, the upfront cost of renting, it's amazing. This is really what people need to know, because the biggest objection is, well, I don't have the money to put down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And if you look at the difference, the upfront cost, the $1,850 a month after they add the pent rent, the sewer and trash, landscaping, whatever it is, versus what the mortgage would be if they had a mortgage, $1,392 on the bottom right for $250,000 sales price, or $300,000 at $1,670, and they're growing their own equity. So to me, it's just mind-boggling why you wouldn't. But it's what you don't know. It can hurt you, because this is it. We're going to share this. I'm going to have some handouts for you. You're going to have a lot of handouts at Tuesday's class.
And Sheila, I mean, one of the things that most borrowers do not, or most first-time home buyers don't know, is that the seller can help with the closing costs.
Correct. Absolutely. They could pay all your closing costs in some cases, depending on the loan type. FHA, VA allows 100% of the costs. Conventional, it depends on the down payment. So, we educate and share them.
Right.
So, okay.
No, and what's great about buying a home and having a mortgage is, there's debate on whether renting or buying creates net worth or wealth over time. I mean, it's undebatable now. It forces, by having a mortgage, it forces you to save. Part of the payments, the mortgage company is your principal payment, and essentially that you're putting that money away. And much, we would hope that people would put that money away regardless, but they don't. When there's money in their bank account, they end up spending it. So this is just one of the ways, and the reason why the gap on wealth from renters versus homeowners is so high. And people need to understand that, especially during this time where you're essentially paying the same, if not less, by owning a home in some cities and some states than renting at this point.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. Okay, next slide. So in some cases and most cases, it's less expensive to purchase than to rent, especially if you have pets. You have pets or extended family. I mean, they charge, and you don't have the rent security. The mortgage payment is fixed for 30 years or whatever the amortization schedule is for the loan. It's fixed. It's not going to go up. They rent from an apartment. I have somebody I'm working with right now. It's going up $100 every year. I said, "You're kidding me." He goes, "No, really." It's like, that's crazy. So
is that $100 a month?
No, $100. It's going up $100 a month every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mortgage payments, again, it builds you equity. It's your rules, your pets, your home. You have a tax advantage. The mortgage interest.
Sheila, the one thing that I think we should do is go a little deeper into the tax advantages. And I think that, I have a great CPA who could possibly help us with that, because we don't even factor that into the money you save when you own a home.
Right. Yeah, we can get some information from them and put it in as well. So, and when time to leave, you sell the home, you get the proceeds from the sale, and it's your first home, and there's pride of ownership.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Really.
Next slide. So the example I gave earlier was down payment assistance using Home is Possible. It's through Nevada eHousing, and their website's down below. This is the best one. They have the other program that's really good. They have a program for first-time home buyers, but the interest rate is much higher. And I'll go over that. I have a separate Home is Possible down payment assistance class that's going to be coming up. But this is touching on the best program, which is the 2% down, because the rate is close to the market rate right now at 2.875.
Wow.
So it's good. And it's forgiven after 3 years. If you do the 4%, it's not forgiven until 30 years. Teacher program is awesome too. It's $7,500 and it's forgiven after 5 years. So there are other options, but the first time home buyer is not, I don't think it's that good. It's a higher interest rate. It's almost 4. And then the conventional one for Nevada for Home is Possible is in the 5s. So you got to look at what fits your client. And that's what I do. I look at it. Okay, what are your goals? Long, short term, come up with plans, show them, educate them. They make the decision on their own. So,
wow.
Okay, next slide. Okay, Nova Credit Services. This is what I mentioned earlier. We offer exclusively by Nova Home Loans, and it is in conjunction with a purchase or refinance. We just don't do credit services by itself. So we do it in conjunction with them financing a home with us or refinancing it. So we educate, evaluate, and guide to improve better credit scores so they get a better interest rate. Did you know that also? That the higher the credit score, even with government loans, the better interest rate you're going to get. It used to be years back that if you had a 620 score or 800, you would get the same rate. Not anymore. Everything is, it's risk, based off of risk.
Right.
So they get one-on-one assistance, increased transactions. The prospect is referred back to the agent when the client's ready to move forward. I have 2 clients that are ready to move forward that were referred back. Mark Dynabursky just closed on one. It went back to him after a year, and he totally forgot about the client. I was like, oh, thank you, Sheila. I thought that was funny. So I'm very loyal. If a client comes from you, it goes back to you.
Yes, and Sheila, we've got 5 minutes left. Do you want me to skip to a particular slide, because I see that there's about 8 more left. I don't think we have enough time to go over all of them.
No, let's do this. I think we went over the meat in the renting versus owning example. I would love to meet you guys in person. Come to the Tuesday class at 9:30. I think you're going to get a lot more one-on-one. We can interact, and we social distance.
Right. Yeah. And we make sure that we don't fill that room with more people than we can socially distance. So we got that down to a science.
Oh, that's fantastic information, Sheila. I mean, this is really great.
What I'd like you to do is email me at the emails there over the little chat thing, sheila.merrill@novahomeloans.com. Email me to confirm you want to attend, and then we'll make sure we don't go over our maximum amount.
Yeah, and Miss Cookie, she's on the ball. She signed up already. She's on the ball. Yes, she already signed up. Yeah. So, and Max, I think you made a good comment here. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Max.
Yeah, no, this is great. When I'm not on camera, I can actually make statements on the chat room, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I hope everybody got out of this call today is, in the season that we're in our economy and life right now, you got to build a business if you want to not only thrive, but survive now.
Right.
Where you're focusing on things that will give you business through all economic seasons of life. And, cultivating renters is the long game, right? You're going to put a lot of effort in the beginning. It's not going to pan out right away, but I can tell you sow the seeds now, right? And during, a booming economic time, maybe you reduce your efforts in cultivating renters, but you still cultivate it, because during bad times when things aren't so easy anymore, all of a sudden, the hundreds, if not few hundreds of clients that you work with renters over the years, they will start trickling in, and then you're building that database, and then they'll give you that 1, 2, 3 extra deal that will, have you survive and thrive through downturns in the economy. And so if anything, if there's any lesson that we can learn through any downturn that we go through, or any obstacles, that we got to prepare. You got to do things in your business that works for you throughout all the different life cycles of the economy. Yeah. And this is one of them. And another great point I want to show is, like, this is the time where what's so great about us having to be quarantined now is, I'm thinking about all the home, first-time home buyer classes that loan officers and real estate agents try to do. Now, the biggest thing is having people show up. What's great now is if you do have a succinct marketing plan where people can just log on at home, right? They're not doing anything now anyways, right? And they're looking for entertainment, education, and engagement and connection with other people. And so your audience could actually be bigger now, and you can reach much more people. And now's the time to increase your efforts, right? What Ruth said last night, you got to do 12 months of work in 9 months here. And I can tell you right now, you probably want to do 12 months of work in the next 6 months, the next 5 months here. Yeah. And if you put in that effort, you learn the tools and the strategies that we're sharing with you on this show over the next 12, 24 months. I mean, you're going to be way ahead. I mean, I'm talking about way ahead, much like the homeowner is 231,000 in net worth and 5,200. The people that are taking the stuff that we talk about on this show very seriously and implementing and slowly incorporating small pieces of that over the next 12 months, you are going to be way ahead of the average realtor. Right. So we appreciate you coming on, Sheila.
And Kane, our first-time home buyer.
Oh. Yeah, it's stressful. And my agent, my wife, has been very good. And Sheila has been very helpful. I don't think it's just because she's down the hall from me at the office, but whenever we need her, she's there. Whenever we had a question, we could text her or call her. She's very, very good at what she does. She really is the lending lady.
Well, one of the biggest complaints people have about lenders is they don't communicate. And Sheila is definitely not your typical lender.
No, she definitely goes above and beyond.
And Nova Home Loans has so many programs and the credit services. I can't say enough good things about it, Sheila.
Thank you.
I'd love to have one of the credit services guy come on, or person come on to the show, just to kind of share some tips and stuff like that, because that's an interesting topic that can benefit a lot of people.
Absolutely. Great idea, Max. What do you think, Sheila? Do you know?
Yeah, I'll talk to a couple of the ladies that work with me. Yeah.
Okay. We'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes. All right. Well, show 254, down in history.
Down in history. All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday. Well, I'll see you next Saturday. You'll see Ruth tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah, and bye-bye. Everybody go to b.vegas and sign up for classes. We've got 5 classes this month on Core CE, and August 10th is our cybersecurity, which that fills up fast, so everybody should sign up. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you. Bye. Bye. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Kane. Thank you, Max.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.